Hi grade 9s, it's Miss Huang here, and we're going to go over the problems that were found in the Prezi, but I'll just go into more detail if you thought the class was kind of fast and you couldn't keep up or write down some notes. That's okay. This video will explain the examples given in the Prezi from last class and also the Prezi link which you have, so check that out as well. So this example here, we are combining the two equations that we learned so far for current and for voltage, okay? So let's again identify all the factors of this equation. So I'll write it in red here. V equals voltage. Q equals charge. And its units are in coulombs. So that capital C. For voltage, the units are in V for volts. This E right here is for energy. And its units are joules. A good way to remember this is saying energy. See, energy for joules is your units. So the units will be in J. Energy. The current formula that we have here, we also see the letter Q. So these two are similar, and we will see that we'll be using these numbers to go back and forth between these two different equations. So Q again equals charge. It doesn't change. And its units is coulombs. The I here is current, and it's measured in amps. And the unit that you usually just put at the end of this number is a big letter A. T here is for time, and it's in seconds. So if you're given a time in minutes, you must convert it into seconds. So it's like 1 minute multiplied by 60 seconds, which is in 1 minute. These units cancel out, and you're left over with 60 seconds. Alrighty, so let's look into this question and see what variables we have to work with. Well, if we look here, your house has a 120 volt system. Well, 120 volts is our V. That might be hard to see, is our V. And then we're also given joules, which we know is the energy, okay? So E, 800 J per 3 minutes. So 3 minutes, we're also given time. But before moving on, we must make sure that we convert this 3 minutes into seconds by multiplying by 60 seconds. We'll get a total of 180 seconds. What is the current? Oh, so the question is asking us, what is the current? Current is in this formula over here. It is I. So current equal I, which equals we don't know because we don't have any numbers for it. Well, first things first, we can plug in these two numbers into our equation for voltage to look for the charge, and then use the charge, the Q, in the other equation over here to solve for I. So let's just do that then. So if we go Q equals energy over voltage. We'll put our energy, 800 joules over 120 volts. Q will equal, if you plug that into a calculator, which I have to pull out, you should get 6.66, so it's rounded to 7 coulombs. Okay, remember the units for Q is C. Alrighty, so now that we have coulombs for this example, we can use the coulombs here and put it into the other equation to solve for current, so solve for I. So I, again, this is what the equation looked like. I equals Q over T. We solved for Q, which was 6.7 C, over the time. Now we have the time, which we can use into our equation. We converted the 3 minutes that was given in the question to seconds, which this equation can only take seconds. So we have to put 180 seconds here. And then we're going to divide by 180. And our amps, or our current, is calculated to be 0.04 amps. So for current, the units is A, which this means amps. All right, if I went too fast here, that's okay. You can rewind it and pause wherever you like and practice the question as well. Let's go over one more example, just so that we have a foundation of examples and answers all together. Alrighty, example 2. So I'm just gonna rewrite the equations here so we know what they are. Enter J, voltage, and charge. And then we have charge over amps, which is I over T in seconds. So let's read the question. Light bulb uses 20 volts. So that means we are given 20 volts in the question to start with. So V equals 20 volts. We're also given 500 J's, so 500 joules. So that J is joules for energy, J. So we're also given E, 500 joules. How much time? So now we want to know what time is. We don't have the variable for it. It's unknown. In seconds, so make sure you're making your units are in seconds. Required for the light bulb to draw 35A. So we're given I this time, 35A. So it's the reverse of the problem. But first things first, we must solve for Q so solve for Q so that we can use it in this formula and solve for our unknown, which is time this time. So our unknown we can solve for. So let's go solve this formula. So Q equals E over V. We were given those units. So 500 joules of energy over 20 volts. So 500 divided by 20, you get 25 coulombs. 25 coulombs. Awesome. Now you can plug the 25 coulombs into this next equation so that we can solve for time, because the question is asking for time. The question also gave us I so that we can plug it in to that formula and solve for time. So again, it's Q over I over T, and then and then T equals Q over I, and the Q was 25 coulombs over a I of 35A, so divided by 35 amps, and you get a number of 0.7 seconds. So that's super fast, that's awesome. 0.7 seconds is your answer, and now you have solved the problem. Again, rewind the question, practice it, see how I identified known variables and unknown variables first before plugging it into the formula so that I know which one I am looking for and which one I am using first. So all the best. If you have any questions, again, ask me on Microsoft Teams. Good luck, everyone. See you in class.